Hail you rags and riches, and welcome to Destiel Part 2! Yay! This curse has still lived through me, and is now onto you. Today we're talking about the older Destiel, the more mature, the aged like a fine wine Destiel, the one that most people can't deny, even though some still will. Hope you enjoy! One of the things about Destiel is the subtext of words, movements, and actions, because obviously all of it couldn't quite be out in the open on the early 2000s cable. It's not about what they're doing or saying directly, it's about the why, the unspoken reasoning. That's what we had to survive on for a very long time, was how deeply something could have meant to a character. And one of the ways was what I call indirect love confessions. Dean is the king of these, as one extremely emotionally repressed man should be. He lets himself say what he feels in a sort of non-confrontational way, a way that he doesn't have to commit to the reality, such as, "You're family," and "You're my best friend."
You're the best friend we've ever had.
But sometimes, just sometimes, Dean will get a little more open in a way that he can express himself. That kind of can be interpreted as a dash more than platonic, all because of what he's avoiding saying rather than just saying it. What I mean is, instead of a straight out "I love you," his words are more intimate than that, more meaningful. Such as a scene where Destiel has been brainwashed to hurt Dean, and it's time for Cass to deliver the final blow. So what does Dean say to stop him? What does he choose to say?
Yes. I know you're in there. I know you can hear me. Yes. It's me. We're family. I need you. I need you.
It hits much more than an "I love you" could have in that moment, because it conveys that message and so much more. And what does it do? It stops Cass. He gets through a brainwashed angel who is trained over 100 times to destroy him. Another instance is when Destiel is cursed in the way of a goofy interpretation, no longer a soldier and not really worth a lot to their team physically. Cass knows this, and he says it. How does Dean respond?
Not good luck, Dean. Yeah, you know what? Bottom of the ninth, and you're the only guy left on the bench? Sorry, but I'd rather have you. Cursed or not.
He tells him he'd rather have him. Mr. Angry Hunter, monsters are monsters, fight until the end, Winchester, tells Destiel that it didn't matter. That he just wanted him. That's so much more than a simple "I love you." So much more. Finally, here's a more recent instance, a moment of the last season, 15 actually, on a solo adventure with Cass and Dean, to a place quite important in their story to revisit, Purgatory. Dean thinks Destiel is dead because he was knocked out by some baddies, and when he woke up he was gone. So for a moment, Dean lets himself break down in prayer to him.
I should have stopped you. You're my best friend, but I just let you go.
I highly suggest watching the full thing because this was a reset. Dean thought Cass was dead, and this is what he decided to finally say. Every bit of it was just vulnerable, and it was a completely welcome change to Dean's character. He was acknowledging his faults, saying he was trying to be better, and that he wanted Cass to be there, just like he always was. Something that always really confused me is the later seasons switching up from tension and Romeo and Juliet dynamics to just straight up a bickering married couple. Like this scene, which honestly speaks for itself.
Cass is told to go in by himself, and Dean is left pacing like the worried husband he is. Sam, who can't control his brother, just begins to count down the inevitable rush in after his brother's boyfriend Wade. No. And because Dean is so predictable, Sam gets it right and just follows him in, after he storms through into the diner. Basically the door opens, and Cass immediately knows it's the boys. It sounds like this pettiness isn't just a one-time thing. As expected, the two brothers come in, and Dean calls out to Cass, erasing any chance this could stay low-key. What did he expect, honestly? This guy, who honestly gives me the heebie-jeebies, watches them come in, much like a king looming over peasants. IDKY. Dean literally walks up to the booth and says I was feeling a little left out, and scoot over. That is, honestly just some husband behavior. I don't know what this sugar did to this man, but he was for sure bothered by it. Oh, and he repeats to Cass that he said to, quote, come alone. I don't know if this is just me, but as they squish up on this booth seat together, it seems like Dean is sitting on Cass's lap, maybe just a little. Wow, Dean, you could have just said you wanted attention. Cass just says they're his friends and they're not good listeners here, and Dean just smirks. I wonder why. Please, just solve your marital issues in your own time. Copyright claim, y'all know the drill.
It is repeated over and over again, along with the literal plotline that they're essentially raising a child together, Jack. And although there are tons of bickering scenes out there, and I mean tons, even before Jack, they start getting to this, annoyed husband energy that is just perfection.
Well, this Benjamin seems like he's pretty cool, like he wouldn't make any half-cocked, knee-jerk choices.
Yeah, you know what I like about him is that he's sarcastic, but he's thoughtful and appreciative, too.
What was that supposed to mean? Okay, wrong.
It's great to know that they achieve this level without ever even giving us any romance. They're already married, and they haven't even gone on a date yet. The thing is that soon, the married bickering thing wasn't just bickering. It was a level of trust they had with each other, like in this clip where Jack returns, but Dean is hesitant that it's really him. He looks to Destiel to make sure, to confirm, because they're at that level of such reassuring trust that literally can only be cemented by a marriage contract, I swear. With the bickering and the trust, you also get a stage of compromise. They both compromise to repair their broken relationship mid-season 15 on their purgatory trip. Dean promises to deal with his problem lashing out.
I don't know why I get so angry. I know that it's just always been there. And when things go bad, it comes out. And I can't stop it. No matter how bad I want to, I just can't stop it.
And Destiel promises not to lie anymore, which was his biggest problem in their relationship.
Hey.
Yeah, hey. Dean, I recognize that I dropped the puck.
Ball. Let's drop the ball.
Deadass.
Ball, right. I didn't tell you about Jack, and then after what happened with your mother.
They literally compromised for each other, so they wouldn't be as toxic anymore. They made each other better, and they compromised. I cannot get over that. Two men that we're supposed to believe aren't in any way, shape, or form romantically interested just compromise like they've been married for 10 years. Are you kidding me? These two men bicker like an old married couple, trust each other like an old married couple, and compromise like an old married couple. Yet we're supposed to believe there's not a single homo. Pfft. Yeah, right. Ah, yes. This stage of Destiel. There's always a span of time when writers write them into a subtextual hole, and like the cowards they are, they have to get a non-gay out. Dare I say it, dude. Man. buddy. And the worst of all.
You're a brother, Kev. I want you to know that.
Cut the cameras.
Thank you.
You see, in Supernatural, there's only one way to escape the gay subtext that you yourself have written. The best out there is a non-romantic, more familial nickname. When Destiel was hot on their trails, they just have Dean say that Cass was like his brother, his family. Note that I believe Cass has never said anything to the same regard. He might have, but I'm not scouring 15 years of show to find it. I just think it's significant that none come to mind. And after all, the actors of the show typically kept their comment to the minimum about Destiel. Except for you, Misha. We love you, King. And the writers for a long time were vehemently against it. Like, in responsible bounds, of course, never enough to make them seem homophobic. Of course not. But if everyone was against it, and they were, it made sense that it would never happen. All these years of holding on to evidence, the last season had come, and little hope had taken place in my heart. Because the writers were cowards. And there was no way anything would happen because it made no sense. If they didn't want it, they wouldn't write it. Right? Right?
Next time on Raggedy Rants.
Wait, there's one thing she's afraid of. There's one thing strong enough to stop her. When Jack was dying, I made a deal to save him.
You what?
The price was my life. When I experienced a moment of true happiness, the empty would be summoned and it would take me forever.
Why are you telling me this now?
I always wondered, ever since I took that burden, that curse, I wondered what it could be, what my true happiness could even look like. And I never found an answer. Because the one thing I want, it's something I know I can't have.
So that concludes Destiel Part 2. What an emotional roller coaster. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and maybe like it too? That's up to you. Also, big shout out to my 18 subscribers. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. Like always, remember to drink your water, because all my homies stay hydrated. Goodbye all you rags and riches. I'll see you in the next video. Who knows what that will be, honestly.